the after effects of experiencing something like that in the spiritual realm, having to come back to a place that you really didn't want to come back here, regardless of having children or anything like that. You were at such a state to where anything and everything that you accomplished down here on this planet, it didn't mean anything to you. And it couldn't mean anything to you because all of that information was gone. But even when you were on your way back here, you were in such a state to where regardless of having children and everything that was going on with your life, you didn't want to come back here because you were at such a state of peace and bliss and of the know, and you were you might as well say flushed of all of the knowledge and all of the experiences, and therefore all of the stress, all of the hard times, all of the humiliation, all of the betrayal. It was all gone. And you were in a state of where you were free. No more hurt, no more struggles, and the after effects. All of those things were gone. And then when you have to come back here it is. You're back in this earthly plane, and you're back to all of the love, all of the hate, all of the betrayal, all of the pain. All of these things are still present because of destiny. The Creator said, I'm not done with you, and you're not done with you. You were put through that so that you can learn of me, of you, and of yourself. So after experiencing that, you go through a period of anger. And I went through some anger issues for a long time because after you experience being in that state and then you're brought back to this, I dealt with a lot of anger issues. And it changed my personality for a long time because you're here and you don't want to be here. And so it's easy to become non-productive because you don't want to be here. But you have to get back to being productive in order for you to be able to function and therefore survive being here. But all at the same time, you're grateful for being back because you have two sons. And so it's profound. It's profound. And so you're back to this dual existence. The after effects of such a experience like that, the best word to describe the feeling that you have inside, or the feeling that I had inside, was a great sense of resentment. I previous I previously said that it caused me to have a lot of anger issues sitting up inside because I was brought back to the earth, which contained a world that I resented in the first place. But after experiencing that level of peace, you never forget that. You never forget the feeling that it gave you. The sense of peace that it gave you is indescribable. And when something is indescribable, it means it has left such an impact upon you that you cannot put it into words. You can't put it into words. And therefore, it's sacred and it has this powerful presence within its impact that is indeed sacred. And it is indescribable. You can't describe it with the limited knowledge that this organism contains or the language that has been given to us, that we're just not able to describe it. And so that sets up a strong sense of resentment, and within that resentment cultivates a strong anger. You know, there's nothing more powerful than destiny itself. You can't fight destiny. We all were put down here to live out our purpose here. And therefore, we were all put down here to be responsible of making the earth a better place to exist. Now, some of us were put down here because we're still dealing with a God that is dual, that gave each and every one of us purposes. And sometimes each purpose of each human being, sometimes it clashes. There are actually some people who were created to do evil in order to make other people rise to the occasion of doing good things upon the earth. I bring up Judas. A whole lot of Christians that I talked to used to tell me that Judas went to hell because he killed himself. But Judas was created to do what he did. And due to the fact that he fulfilled his purpose, and simply because he had such a strong love for Yeshua that he wasn't able to live with that, and therefore he wasn't equipped or conditioned or imbued with the intelligence or wisdom or strength in order to maintain himself, to go further in his organism. Obviously, it was ordained for him to do such, regardless of how outrageous that may sound. So I don't believe that Judas went to this place that y'all created called hell. He fulfilled his purpose. He got Yeshua to that cross, according to quote unquote prophecy. But the whole resentment that I felt, my brother Josh in Texas noticed a big change in me. I noticed it first, but after a time, he noticed it. You know, when I would get angry, I would really get angry, you know, because I felt something else. And so anytime that I would be upset about anything, I would always have this thought in my mind: had I was able to stay where I was, I wouldn't be dealing with this. And so I carried that around for a long time, and that affected my personality tremendously. You know, and so the after effects is you have to get through it. You have to suffer through it. You have to learn yourself all over again, because after an experience like that, you're never the same. There are going to be some things that are different, and they're different about you. There's going to be some things that are going to be worse than before, and there's going to be some things about you that's going to be better than before. But you just have to keep living and understand that the reason why you're still present is because there is a divine purpose upon you. And the only way that you're going to come to realize that is you have to accept it, and you have to keep moving forward in order to fulfill your purpose on this planet. And once you start getting signs of the reason why you're still active on this earth, the anger is going to eventually start going away, because a whole lot of things of your existence still on this planet is going to begin to make more sense and more sense. You know, there's a lot of people in my life that fail to understand me a whole lot today. Primarily, a lot of the people that I come up with in Chicago, they notice that I don't really stay in touch with people a whole lot. But what they're going to have to understand is that the further time that you spend away from everybody, sooner or later, time is going to force you or have you to detach yourself from these people psychologically and emotionally, because you're far apart physically. And so that's a human reality right there. And as time goes on, everyone's living their lives and everything like that, you know. But when you experience something that I experienced, you're never the same anymore. You come back. Perfect example. When I came back from Dharamsala, India, when I got off the airport, when I landed at the airport and I got off the plane, I didn't understand exactly what type of evil environment that I was living in until I came back to it. See, when you're coming up in a very hostile and wicked country and its system, you really can't perceive exactly how evil it is until you spend some time outside of it. So when I came back, I'm walking through the airport and I just didn't even want to speak to anyone. I came up on an elevator of people that were going down to the bottom floor, and it was more than enough room for me in the elevator. And it was a nice gentleman that said, come on, you can we'll hold it for you, you know. And I just said, just go. You know, I didn't want to be around anyone, because I experienced something overseas that was morally better. The people were nicer. The culture was more moral. Everything was better over there. And you know, that has everything to do with your destiny as well, in terms of your moral state, and therefore your destiny, in terms of growing further and further into your identity and your personality and everything. You know, that's like the way that I live. I live a very peaceful and quiet life. And therefore, if I was to ever get into a relationship ever again, she has to want to live the same way. Because if she doesn't have the desire to live a quiet and peaceful existence, we're never going to get along. And I'm not the type of man to where I'm going to spend a lot of time, if any time, with a woman who I am totally incompatible. You know. But going back to the accident and its aftermath, there was a lot of things about myself that I knew was from the effects of not the accident, but the effects of being in that state of clarity and the know and power and everything that I had explained in the video. When you are in a better place outside of this organism, because as I said before, this organism records pretty much everything, the memories, whether they're good or bad, because when you leave this organism, even the well, when you're outside this organism, even the memories that you perceive as good can't touch being free from this thing. And when the information and therefore the memory had came back, from that point on, that's the reason why I speak on the knowledge of good and evil so much in my videos, because the knowledge of good and evil was present here on this earth before Adam and Eve was manifested. And therefore, that constitution of information was the evidence of a historical account of the heavenly plane or even the earthly plane. And therefore, when we consumed this information, we died surely. So this is why I'm real skeptical now about accumulating any further information. And I'm willing to, as I told my brother today, Brother Josh, that I'm willing to allow myself or allow the Creator to bring me to a spiritual state of where the only thing that leaves me in terms of information is pure clarity. The same as Yeshua spoke clarity. He spoke clarity. He spoke the facts. He spoke the facts. And you have to totally, absolutely be freed from what you already know. And obviously, you're going to be left with an awareness that you're going to be like a clean slate, as they say. And as you move forward, you have to understand when it says conform not to the things of the world, and therefore allow yourself to be renewed, or as they say, have the Christ consciousness or things like that, but I'm trying to totally flush myself from that inside, which causes a whole bunch of conflict and disorder, not only within myself, but other people in who I come in contact with. So I won't say that that's a journey within itself, because a journey implies a length of time. So I'm not dealing with time. I'm just dealing with the present. The present. We're dealing with the present. And so I'm just willing to allow myself to be made new all over again. So the aftermath of experiencing something like that, very few of us are able to articulate it to the degree to where people actually get it. You may understand it, but you would never get it because we didn't. We're limited as well. As I said before, it is something that is indescribable. But you understand that you were at peace. You wasn't even at joy. You were at peace. Pure peace. You was beyond joy. And actually, you was beyond peace, because to mention it as peace is describing it in comparison to what you've already perceived, or your ideological idea of what peace is. So, and all of that comes from knowledge of good and evil. And so, as you move forward, you come to understand that the best way to try to explain someone, explain to someone how something was, it just seems like to me the best way to describe the indescribable is by way of a silence. So there's certain information that a lot of us are going to have to learn to keep to ourselves. And that's with the individual. But as I'm moving forward along with this, as I said, my YouTube channel is to share what I know and share my life experiences in hope that it would help a lot of people understand some things in the environment and in relation to their lives, because there's a lot going on, and there's a whole lot that I see going on. It's like Yeshua was telling the women when he was bearing the cross, when he told them that when he saw that they were crying, he said, "Weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and your children." He was speaking of a world that's coming, that is going to be dark, full of conflict and complicated, and you see signs of that even right now. You see signs of that even right now. And so the aftermath of something as that is going to have individual effects on people. It's going to have individual effects because it's had some good effects on me, and it's had some really hostile effects on me, because you find out you can't fight destiny, bro. You can't fight it. You just have to move forward, and in time we'll all understand exactly what this means according to our individual destinies, and in hoping that once we come to clarity of why we are all here individually, then hopefully we'll all understand why we're all here, and we'll have that one understanding of where all of this racism and this religious and political conflict, all of these things will come to an end. So with that being said, I'm just gonna get me some rest, because I've just started my vacation, and there's some things going on right now, and so I'm kind of tired and a little irritated, but so I'm going to go ahead and get me some rest, because I don't like feeling irritated or anything like that. So with all of this being said, I hope this helped someone. This was a very short video, and I was kind of all over the place right there. So hopefully after I get some rest, I'll be able to talk about this more clearly if I'm inspired. So everyone have a good night, and everyone get some proper rest. I know I need to. So with that being said, everyone stay human, and everyone have a good evening. Peace.